Everybody, welcome to ThNOT Thursday night on tour.
ThNOT.
ThNOT. I'm not. Listen, there's something weird about the name. It sounds very
Not right.
Not
it's just
right.
not
That's right. Hi everybody. Welcome. This is the last ThNOT that's going to happen for a month because we're going to be all on a layoff. But I'm very excited because tonight we have our company manager, Chris Danner, with us.
Hello.
Chris, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you do, what your job is, because what I like to do on these Thursday nights is provide an education for folks that want to get into theater, or maybe they're like, I want to be in theater, but I don't necessarily want to be on stage.
Sure.
And I think that there's an opportunity here. So
Because there are people like me who can't sing or dance or do anything.
I can't sing.
listen,
Yeah.
So what would you consider your job what your job looks like?
So I guess the title is company manager, but it's such a strange title because it's kind of like more like tour manager. And so I do. So I have an amazing associate. Her name's Elle, and between her and I, we do all of the logistics of the tour. Flights and hotels and busing and trucking and all that good stuff. And then we also do the financial end of the tour. So basically what will happen is when a tour is getting ready to go out on the road, the producer will hire a general management company, and then the general management company will then, the first person they'll hire is a company manager. And then I basically will travel around with the show and basically be their eyes and ears and represent them on the road. So, and I do everything from the logistics, financial, to HR issues, that come up with travel or hotels, like just pretty much everything that's business related.
That's fun.
Payroll, very important.
Love payroll.
We love
Yes.
payroll.
Everything that's like the business side of the tour. Because I said I can't sing or dance, so.
Chris's phone
Why
is
not?
always on.
Yes.
That I think is one of the true cons I would think
Yeah,
of your job,
I
is that
agree.
Chris's phone is always on.
You gotta be like a mother too, like kind of like a mother hen.
Yeah, because you always have people in your office
Yeah.
coming with an issue or with a problem, or just
And
to
that's,
say hi.
sometimes when you're having a bad day and you're like, oh, I don't wanna.
I don't
and
wanna
you just
deal
have
with
to
this,
turn
yeah.
it off, like a light switch. And then basically, kind of always be on. So, it's funny because when I'm in the elevator coming down from my hotel room, I'm always like, okay, I gotta
Breathe.
align myself.
I have to focus.
Do like
I have
personal
to get
elevator
ready.
yoga.
Exactly.
Put on your work face.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Getting ready for that overture to hit. Yes, of course.
And it's hard. It's hard some days. Some days you're dealing with some issues that are everything from really serious or perceived serious, and other things that you're like, are you kidding me? But
but you have to still take it
Yeah.
seriously because it's serious to that person.
Yeah, it's serious to that person.
Right,
And I think
right.
that's a big lesson that I had to learn from years of doing this,
Yeah.
is that everybody, if they have an issue, if they feel like they can walk into your office and vent about something, then it's their issue, right?
Yes, somebody just said therapist on the side.
Exactly. Exactly.
So to give us your history, you said you've been touring for a very long time.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a very long time. How did you get your start in this?
Right.
And how did you know that this was a career path that you wanted to go down?
Wow.
I'm just getting
24 years ago. 24 years ago, I
Wow.
started touring,
24
and my
years.
first tour was David Copperfield. I was working as a box office manager in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I was talking to his tour manager, and I said, "Hey, how do you get involved in this?" Same question you asked. And literally a month later, 4 weeks later, he called me and he said, "Are you still interested in touring? Because I'm leaving David. And do you want to come and be the tour manager for David Copperfield?" And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. And so he's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm going to train you." And I said, "Great. Where does it start?" He says, "San Juan, Puerto Rico." And I was like, "I'm there." So I went, and then he said, "I'll meet you on the airplane, and we're going to fly down together so we can have a conversation." I was like, "Great." I showed up at the airport, and he never showed up.
Oh,
And I was like, ah! So luckily,
Thanks, Kim.
David's business manager actually helped me through everything and figured it out. So
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so had he left, or was he just like?
no, he had left, so he was gone, so I just figured it out. So that was
Learning as
Yeah.
you went.
So then I got involved after that. After I was with him for a couple of years, 2.5 years, and then I worked on my next show is Blues Clues Live, back in the day, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
And I've done. This is my 20th show.
Wow.
And so I've been doing it for a long time, and I actually still love it. And people say like, do you still really like being on the road? And I always say, yeah. I haven't made my own bed or cleaned a toilet in 24 years.
That's very true.
It's
That is
not-
very true.
it's
When
not
you
a
were
bad
on
thing.
tour, you don't really have to do that. Yeah.
Change sheets, like wash bed sheets, and try to figure out how to fold those stupid fitted sheets.
Oh, the fitted sheets.
Never had to
It's
do
always
that.
It's always a danger.
yeah.
What is so what did you go to school for? Like,
Really? Do you know
well, no, I don't.
this? So I went.
Oh, yes, I do know this,
yes.
but this is very interesting. So,
I went to school to be a chef. So I'm a certified chef, and I specialized as a pastry chef.
there you go.
And that didn't last very long, but
And yet, he has never brought
I
me
got
a
tired of
cake.
working holidays and weekends.
And now you work nothing but
Seriously.
holidays and weekends because we never
And
get
here we
weekends
are,
or
yeah.
holidays off.
Here we are, yeah.
Here we
It's
are. We get the
crazy.
4th of July off this year, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you get
did.
one. Well,
No, I'm just joking. I did
it's
too.
like I hope you do.
I actually, you know what I'm going to be doing? I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the day I'm going to see Les Mis in London. Ironically, I'm
Look at
going to
that.
London. So, bucket list item.
Are every company's different when touring?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have different, everybody says, what's your favorite tour? And I have different ones for different reasons. My favorite tour I've ever been on was once. Nothing against this show at all, because this is actually one of my top 3 probably. But once was just like easy. It was like, an hour and a half show, no intermission.
Wouldn't
All
that
of
be
the
nice?
actors were musicians.
Oh, wouldn't an hour and a half be
And they were
nice?
all like mellow and cool,
Yeah.
and half the time they were stoned probably, and they were just having a good time. And it was just everybody clicked and gelled. This show has actually turned out to be a really great show. Like everybody is clicking. Touring is different because I always tell people it's like being at a family reunion. There's those people that you love to hang out with. You still love everybody that's there, but there's some people that you just don't want to like hang out with.
Yep.
And this company is great. Like, I want to hang out with people, and it doesn't bother me. There's literally everybody I would hang out with.
Yeah.
Like some shows are not like that.
We've got a good group, and I think that it also helps to have somebody like you that's welcoming. You know what I mean? That is not like that when you walk in the building. Sometimes there are company managers where it's more the business, and yet you ride the line of business, but also a personal dynamic that helps to make people feel welcome.
Which gets me in trouble sometimes.
well,
Yes,
it
even
gets
I
me
get in trouble.
Yeah, everybody gets in trouble.
But when I like to have a good time.
Yeah.
So it's like I always like to say we're not curing cancer.
That is very true.
We're just doing a little show, little
Yep.
skit.
We're gonna do a
and,
show.
making people happy. And that's one of the things I talked about Blues Clues Live. When I'm having a bad day, I remember like on Blues Clues and like on this show and other shows, I just go out to the audience. I have the luxury of being able to go out to the audience and
You
just,
do.
and like watch them. And I remember Blues Clues specifically. I would go out there and the little kids would see like Blue, like an actor dressed like a dog, barking like a dog, walking out on their hands and knees, and the little kids were literally like trying to reach towards the stage to like touch. I mean, you know that.
I know that.
And it's
when we went and
it's
saw
so-
Bluey live,
oh
my
God.
daughter was like, Bluey, so I'm like, I
It's like they've
completely
come to life,
understand.
they've come out of
Yes.
the TV.
Oh my God, it makes me cry every time.
Yeah, totally.
So would you ever? You've been touring a long time. Would you ever want to get off the road and do like a sit-down production in like New York or something like that?
I did come off the road one time, actually after Blues Clues. I started working for the Ottawa Senators, the hockey team, NHL
wow.
team. And before touring, I was in box office, and so that's kind of how I got involved. And I decided, I'm going to go do this and get off the road.
Yeah.
And that didn't go well because it went well. I mean, I did fine, but
Yeah.
it didn't go well because it was like October in Canada and it started getting cold, and it was like October 15th. I remember going out to my car and there was frost on the car, and I'm like, I'm never going to make it through this winter. Like,
Yeah.
it's already October 15th and it's frosty.
Right.
And then I was in a cubicle and I missed it. And I had to make my own bed. Like,
Who wants that?
gross.
I told family and friends definitely come and see the show in Ottawa. Well, thank you so
good.
much.
Yeah. We're going to be there in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to go back. So I have a good friend, Chris Beck,
Yeah.
who you know.
Yeah.
He was our child wrangler when we were in Toronto, and I've asked him to come back to Ottawa.
Yay.
But we actually met in Ottawa.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
So last time that I was in Ottawa, the river was frozen, and we were able to walk the river because you can skate
Yeah,
it in the
skate,
winter.
yeah.
So that was really cool. How did you? So when it comes to like a show like Les Mis, like do you get a call to be like, hey, Les Mis is going back out on the road. Would you like to take it?
Actually,
How
that's
does that
exactly
work?
what happened. So in this business, it's all about who you know and all that good stuff. And especially my position, it's all about who you know. So when like people start finding out like, oh, the company manager is starting to look for something, you start getting calls sometimes. And then you know, basically 15 minutes.
Yep.
You have to continually market yourself. Like I'm constantly kind of updating resumes and things like that. I'm fortunate now because like we're working for a great company. Before this, I did the band's visit, which was great. Another great tour.
Was that the first? So our producer is Networks Tours, along with Cameron McIntosh. So had you worked with Networks before? So Brandon's
like
visit was
many years.
also, okay.
Yeah, like a dozen years or more.
Wow, okay.
I did Oliver.
Okay,
Cameron's
yep,
Oliver.
yep.
I did My Fair Lady.
Yep.
Which is Cameron as
Cameron
well.
as well.
And I did Light in the Piazza.
Right.
And I did Annie. And I think those are the 4 shows I did with Networks.
Got
and
it.
then did work for them for many years. Like
Yeah.
I ended up doing like Kinky Boots and Lion King
Yeah.
and Newsies and all these other shows. And then came back to them years later after I left Dear Evan Hansen.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So it's fun.
Someone just asked, do you still bake?
Sometimes.
I've never received a baked good.
No. And you know, I just found out that I'm pre-diabetic, so I can't have all those things anymore. Like, but that's okay.
It's all right. It's okay.
okay.
So if there's somebody that wants to go into company management, what would be your advice to them?
That's interesting because I kind of got into it in a weird kind of way because I always came through the box office side
Right.
of it. You can constantly shadow a company manager, so there is that. And then just basically just start interviewing and just getting, anybody can be an assistant company manager. And that's just kind of like learning the gig.
Yeah.
But you got to kind of like jump through hoops to get you there because you got to go through those one-nighters and live on a bus and do all that.
Yeah.
But that's really where, you know,
That's
I
where you
lived on a
cut your
bus for
teeth.
2.5
That's
years.
where you cut your teeth. That's
Yep.
right.
And I look back and never forget.
Yeah.
That's
It makes you more, like when I think about like standing on the street and doing auditions and things, it makes you thankful for where you are
Stay on the street
now.
for auditions.
Yeah, on the street for auditions.
Auditions.
No.
He didn't make money
nothing
not doing
seedy.
anything.
No, but like getting up at like 5:45 in the morning to be
Yeah.
in line outside at 6:30 in January, it makes you thankful.
Yeah.
That you're here now.
It's like getting tickets to Les Mis
Exactly.
in Ottawa or Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. What is if you have a favorite song or scene from this show, what would it be?
Ooh. I mean, classic.
It's from Once. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no. I have to be honest. So I saw for the first national tour of Les Mis.
Uh-huh.
I haven't told a lot of people this. I saw the first national tour of Les Mis. I'll never forget it. And I didn't like it. And I didn't like it because I know that everybody's like, they're grasping their pearls. But I didn't care for it only because I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
I walked
Yep.
in cold,
Yep.
not knowing the story.
Just knowing that it was this mega hit.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I was like, wow, the music is so beautiful and like iconic songs and things like that. And then I walked out and I'm like, oh, okay. And so now jump ahead 30 years and now they're like, hey, Chris, do you want to go do Les Mis? And I was like, oh crap, I better like watch the movie and read Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And I literally read Wikipedia, watched the movie, and fell in love with it.
That's what I tell people to do all the time.
And
I was like,
the
there's
movie
no...
is nothing compared to the real life, right?
Correct,
I mean,
correct.
the show is so much better than than the movie, the live theater. And now I love it. And I have the ability there's out of 20 shows I've done, there's not one show that I can sing any song to. I just don't have that. It doesn't stick in my head
Yeah.
like that. But I listen to the song or to the show every night
Because it's
from
always in the
beginning to
because
end. So
their
I'm typing.
offices are usually like a dressing room or an office within within our dressing room setup. So they are hearing the feed of the show every single night, like we all do back.
So we're listening to it, and then it's funny because my ear, I can work and whatever talk, and all of a sudden if I hear somebody like miss a line or there's a pause or anything,
It's different.
I literally go, there's something going on, like what's
Yep.
happening? So, but I could never sing a song. So it's nice because I have, this show
So
has so
you don't
many,
yeah.
it's hard. I don't think I could tell you that.
That's all right.
So, but I when I watched the SITS, when I sat down at the SITS probe for the first time when we were in New York, which is the first time the cast meets the band for the first time and plays and sings together, the music stands alone on itself, and I think that was probably the most powerful thing for me because I had heard the music but never without the words.
Correct.
And it was so powerful.
So
I almost wish they
beautiful.
would make a CD with just like, I mean, maybe they do, like an album with just the music.
Karaoke.
It's cool.
A karaoke
So
version.
powerful.
And that's the 5-minute call, and that
There
is
you
where
go.
we believe it. Because
Yay.
I gotta go on stage. Chris,
This was
thank you
fun.
so much
Yeah.
for joining me.
It's so good. We love this guy.
Well, we love you. If you have any other questions for Chris about company management or anything like that, leave them in the comments. And we will see you all in a month.
Wow.
We are off
yay!
for a month. We will see you all in Montreal. Don't forget to tune in Saturday night to ThNOT with Haley. It'll be our last ThNOT before the layoff. And if you happen to be in New York, July 14th at 7 p.m., come and see me at 54 Below. And there is now a live stream of that concert. Tickets are available right now. You can purchase them online. The link and everything like that is in my bio on Instagram and all over the place. So look for that.
That's awesome.
We will see you all. We'll see you all next time on ThNOT. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
See ya.